Hi guys. So sorry that we are so late. But I've got Paula Krueger here with me today. And we were trying for 10, 11, 11. But it looks like we went 10, 11, 12. It's always the now moment. It's been an interesting, very interesting morning so far. Yeah. But and look how quiet it is now. No mowers out there mowing, no sound. Now it's like it was meant to be now. And I want to make sure, can everybody hear? Both of us? You may see some weirdness if I need to go and she should be piped through my sound, and the desktop is on. But let me check and make sure. So you're probably looking just at my screen now with the television. Let me make sure that we've got sound for her. And that's not what I want. I want to go into filters. No. Oh, I'm sorry. I know where I need to go. Settings. Hey, we can all learn this together, right? Why not? I can hear you perfectly.
Time thing of new technology kind of thing where I did a live video with both Facebook and YouTube, and and you tried a new technology today and didn't quite work, so we're back on the old technology. But it just makes sense to me that we're all sort of recalibrating and getting used to something new and different. So
Okay,
page
everybody should be able to hear Paula now, and so yep, all good. Oh, good, good. Okay, they didn't get to hear what you were talking about, the recalibration and everything, because I was applying it. Um, whenever my system does a reboot or an update, for some reason I always forget. I gotta go back into the settings and pipe you through the sound so that it's
Well,
just
what
remembering.
thing could be applied very directly to exactly what we've been doing. So a lot of us have been sort of literally and metaphorically offline the last couple of days. People that have been posting usually aren't posting. It's like a lull, and we literally have to recalibrate because I think we've all kind of stepped into something new and different recently. And I've got a couple of friends, including myself, who suddenly are like, I have to rebrand. And then we're trying new technology and getting our platforms set up. And
New name.
I think something really big is coming through, and I'm sick of everybody saying that. So I'm not even going to say it. Oops, I just said it. But I think we're being prepared. But we just have to be patient with the recalibration process. It takes what it takes.
And
And sometimes,
I've been going live a lot this week, and I also did rebrand. My channel
oh,
name is
right.
different.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. And we had a delay because I got a message, and as anybody that receives those kind of things, when that comes in, you have to, it like takes over, it stops everything. No matter what you're doing, it doesn't matter. You got to do what you got
Oh,
to do, and then so it's just been one of those. But you know what? Here we are. So obviously it's meant to be.
right.
Or
Right.
we wouldn't have had options. There
Oh,
wouldn't
I
have been
know.
options for us to continue on and bringing you
Yeah.
forth.
And there are a lot of people in the live chat right now, and us being delayed kind of gave people time to find the, announcements here and there. So I think this is going to be kind of interesting because it's not just us, it's all the people in the chat and all the people who are going to be watching this later. And I think we're all kind of pulling we're pulling a big download through together. So I'm just as curious as everybody else what we're going to be talking about. So
Well,
fire
mainly
away.
we're going to be talking about you. I've been
Oh,
focusing on more on the tools that we offer to people to help them to get through the awakening process, whether, and it's not a matter of hierarchy or anything like that. It's tools that we've learned to use that we put in our toolbox that can help other people if they're wanting to use them to put them in their toolbox. I watched several of your posts on your channel, and they're very relaxing. And you do a lot of meditative type tools. And so, can you tell a little bit about? We could talk about. You got your book. You've got several different modalities that you are, and I also talk about that. Many gifts come online. We aren't just limited to one. Whatever your passion is, you can go after it, get mastery on it, and go after the next. So you have multiple gifts that you operate in, many tools in your toolbox. So let's hear from you. What's going
okay.
on?
Okay. So
Okay.
yeah, I've got lots of tools in my tool belt. One of them is my husband who just made me this coffee. Look at,
Sweet.
thank you, Stuart. Um, so yeah, one thing I just want to say to everybody, um, trust whatever tools seem to be activated right now and whatever ones seem to be kind of on hold and quiet. Because you just gotta trust the process. We're seeing the backside of the tapestry over here, but it's all very organized on the other side. So yeah, let's see, where do I start? I guess let me just show you this really quick. This is going to be a little blah 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 ginger,
Ah,
but
the
this,
book.
yeah,
That's that's not your book.
no, this is what my book is based on.
Okay.
So I can go run and get a copy of my book. I don't happen to have one here right at the second, but there's this ancient card system called Destiny cards. What's really funny is it doesn't have technically a name, and that's how secret it's been for like eons. And the first publication in our time, I guess, came out around 1900 by the Grand Master of the Secret Order of the Magi. I still don't understand fully the depths of this thing and where it comes from. But anyway, then there was another publication around 1950. A couple of women with master's degrees, which is highly unusual for that time, came out with the most amazing work on this. And then Robert Camp came out with the kind of user-friendly, this is called the Grand Solar Spread. So you can see they're just a whole bunch of cards. One side is all organized and the other is not. That's our personality side. So anyway, it's kind of like astrology, numerology, tarot, um, but the bottom line is that it works like astrology. It's both descriptive and predictive. So like I'm a 7 of diamonds based on my birthday, which gives me a whole hand of cards, and each card sits in a different planetary position, which kind of explains an aspect of my character. For example, this is really fun. So I'm the 7 of diamonds, which is right here. This is my moon card, which makes me very sensitive because it's the sensitivity card. And the sun, and then Mercury. So I'll just tell you about my Mercury card. It's the 5 of spades. Fives go in all directions at the same time. So this makes me appear as though I have ADD. And when I learned this, I was like, oh, okay, this is a reframe. I don't have to think of myself as not being able to attend. I can understand the energy of the 5 as attending to many, many things, kind of like in a 360 thing all at once. And a lot of star seeds have that. And it's a lot to process and handle. So this card system kind of helps you reframe things about yourself and say, oh, this is the functionality, this is the vibration, this is the gift, this is how this tool works. Like, and Liara did a great post on, is ADD our superpower? And her card actually, oh my God, this is so fun. Okay, so one reason she said that is she's the 4 of diamonds. I hope this is okay to share this about her. In the corresponding position is the 5 of spades. So Anyway, what that means is that that five of spades is a really big component of her being. So we're both really well acquainted with that energy. So anyway, I'm sorry if I shouldn't have shared that little bit about her, but anyway, so that's the card system. But then there's this other book of the Destiny cards, which is very kind of detailed and complicated, and it shows what cards of influence are up for you right now and for this year. So for like this year, my long range card, that's the big sign that says you're going to Portland this year, and that's what's important. It's the Ace of Spades for me, and what that is new career. It's a new beginning of some kind, and so all throughout the year I'm going to be seeing nuances of the Ace of Spades, which is also rebirth, reawakening, rebranding, that kind of thing. So when someone gets a reading from me, I look at their cards, and it's a combination of what the cards are saying in a very basic way, and I've written a book about that, the very basic interpretations of the cards as I've come to understand them. And then I also have a master's degree in transpersonal psychology, which just gives me a psych background and a counseling background. And then I'm also connected to your guides. I'm intuitive. So yeah, there are a lot of tools in that tool belt, and I've learned how to just kind of bring them all together and show up in a given moment and just quiet all the chatter, all the tool, and just be present and allow spirit to use those tools through me.
And what is interesting is I just did a post, and I'm actually going to make a short video about it. And I showed runestones, and I showed the lots that were cast that are biblical. So, and how similar that they actually are. So one is in the Bible, where a lot of the being brought up Christian myself is, don't touch this, don't, because it would awaken our, our sovereignty, our divinity, that divine spark that is within us all, and how can they control us if we're not, and so it's just interesting that, an average deck of cards that just about is in every household,
yes,
can be used as a tool to, guide until your natural ability it just becomes second nature, where you can just read somebody, which I'm sure you're already there, but using the cards kind of gives them some confirmation, something to look at, from where you're getting your reading from. But the rune stones and the lots look almost identical with each of them. When they were casting lots, they all had the different symbols and everything on it, just like rune stones of today.
Wow.
So I just did that showed that to people on live stream, and I wanted them to guess which ones were the biblical lots that were cast and which ones were the rune stones. Some got it right, some did not. But then I played the articles that went with each of them, and then revealed which ones were which. And I do plan on doing another one that actually includes the Ark of the Covenant, which is another tool of divination. When people talk about divination, they frown on it, but they don't realize that the divine spark is in them. So I just wanted to interject that because of the synchronistic flow of it just went together, because I was just not yet yesterday I took a download day. It was the day before yesterday I posted that about the rune stones and the lots, and it's just the irony of it.
Wow. Well, I think that everything is always reflecting the present moment reality. It's like a holographic thing. And whether you overhear a bit of conversation and you go, oh, that's right, in alignment, or you see a number sequence, 333, like Brandon does that a lot, it's telling you something in number language. Or if you see an elk walk by and you're like, oh my God, right. And the cards and the, casting lots, what you're doing is you're taking a system that, and here's the, this is the card I drew for this reading with Hummingbird, so here's another system. You're taking some kind of system or language that you understand, and you're saying to the universe, okay, here's the language I understand, and I'm going to throw this out there, and I'm going to see what it tells me in this language, and it's a translation device so that you and the universe can communicate in a shared or common language. And it's like, there are moments when we're just so perfectly attuned, we're just flowing with the moment. We're not trying to communicate or feel like trees.
Or
Not,
overthink it.
yeah. Or like a gorilla. I've been watching a lot of Coco the gorilla. They're just in it. They are being it. And
Don't make me
we're
laugh.
thinking about it, which is really the anomaly. But the truth is, we're always being it, even if we don't know that we're being it, the oneness, the flow. But a divination system kind of just like puts it out there so that we can use that, ego mind and interpret it, I don't know, as humans. It's part of the path.
Yeah, and it's tools. In what
Right.
eventually we'll find out, or that the connection is there. It's just our mental state, and what has been drilled into us since childhood, that we're not worthy. We are, all of these things, all these old programs, as they're being removed and rooted out, and the truth is flooding in. Then people are coming along, and like 2015, 2016, that huge wake up. I got really excited about that when people started seeing all the changes and figuring out that this place is malleable, and as long as they don't get stuck there, they keep moving with it. But I mean, it was pretty exciting to see so many people come out at the same time, questioning things, seeing changes going on around. Now, what I've well, I don't want to give away the message, but I did read it after I was done. I kind of just, did a cursory read over it. But it does talk about another huge awakening in 2020, because we're replaying the scripts. And those of us that are aware of the scripts that, or the programs that are played, they're played over and over again. But that's why we have to be so patient, because uh, another wave like that is going to wake up. And it was just beautiful. It was so beautiful to see so many people become self-aware and realize, where we're at, what we're able to do, and move forward, with that. So yeah, it's pretty
So
exciting.
I'm actually being guided to ask you the question, can you tell us about your awakening? Like, is there a moment with a lot of star seeds, we've just kind of been awake, really awake for a long time, but there's a specific moment they want you to talk about when you're like, oh, I see what's going on.
Mhm. Well, 2001 is when I started having the out of body experiences and the dreams and visions.
Oh,
So it's been a while. And then in 2012, I had a huge breakthrough. And it was like, uh, oh my gosh. It was like, enough. You had an 11-year break. Let's move. But the interesting thing is, one, I was 33, the first one, and the second one I was 44. But it's
oh,
not.
cool.
It's like this though. What you end up finding out is that the entire time you've been doing what you're here to do, what you volunteered to come and do, it's just becoming aware of it. And then, and it's a blessing to become aware of what you are actually here to do, or
Mm.
what your purpose is. And it's pretty amazing. But yeah, it came in like a flood in 2012. But I did it through what I knew, which was seeking Christ. And through seeking
Oh,
Christ, everything went pop, 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 and everything like just opened up, and in 2012. Now in
wow.
2001, the dreams and the visions and all that started happening. Went and got medical, you know, attention for it, and they said, "Oh, you're having night terrors. Take this pill." So they called it night terrors, but they weren't like terrifying or anything. I was just hovering over my body sometimes and seeing the exact position we were laying in. And then I would wake up and we would be laying in that exact position. And when
Mm-hmm.
you first become aware of those things, they can be kind of frightening, that I'm leaving my body. Oh, am I going to get lost and not know my way back? Well, I can tell you, we can be in multiple areas at the same time. And our body could be at rest and sleeping, but if somebody comes walking in my bedroom door or knocks on my front door or anything, bam, I am completely alert. There's nothing to be afraid of. Travel on, my fellow travelers. Go enjoy the
Mm-hmm.
experience. Go observe what you're there to observe. Take the information back with you, what you're seeing, and don't worry that anything is going to happen bad to your body while you are, because you're still there. You're there, you're there, you're there, you're there. I mean, there's this just multifaceted. It's amazing.
Yeah, we are so multidimensional, and there are always so many layers going on at the same time. And something that I've really become aware of in the last 6 to 8 months is, like, say on a given day, I need to go do. Oh, I wish my guides would give me a really specific example, but okay, they're like, talk about yesterday. So yesterday was the first snow that Colorado had, and when I woke up and it was all kind of white outside, somehow I was able to just kind of be in this bubble and not think about the fact that I needed to cloister away. I didn't go into this conversation about, is it okay for me to take a day off and should I be busy, and all that stuff just wasn't going off. I just kind of felt like when you have a cold, it's like you have cotton all around you, and I think that's why we get sick a lot of times, is that we need to insulate from the world. And somehow I just was in that insulated space because of the snow. So I got in the bathtub and I watched videos of Mr. Rogers and Coco the gorilla and Robin Williams and Coco the gorilla.
I've
And
been
I
watching little cartoon stuff too.
really, and so like
I
I
can't believe
just,
you got me to admit that, but little I have.
oh, I'm not surprised at all. And here's the reason. So my human was
I'm
like,
bright red, I'm sure.
this feels good to me. So I just did it. And the wisdom behind that is like this higher dimensional awareness that I've been having, is that it's all about the child right now. And we know that on the world scene, the really dark crap is about how the children need to be rescued. And we're not going to go there because it's like,
Mm-hmm.
I just can't deal with that today. And what I've been seeing kind of in the just the human community, light worker community, is a very powerful focus on the inner child and an increased level of sensitivity to anything that's out of alignment with love. Children are so pure, and they are the ultimate barometer for what's good and what's not good, and they are always authentic. They don't know how to be inauthentic, and it's like that's 5D. And so I've just been watching everybody just kind of coming into an inner child, like, I really need to take care of my inner child, and I think we're being made more sensitive. And the fact that I needed to just cloister and watch Coco and just be in my inner child and feel safe and not have to think or analyze, or it's funny because, like, I do these spiritual updates. So here's another one of my tool belt things. On my Facebook page, just my name, nothing fancy, I do live videos and I pull cards for people and I give energy updates, and, oh, I just got this download, blah blah blah. and
And you go live
and
on Facebook.
I go live, and it's really fun. You can join, and then sometimes I read cards for individuals, and you just go pick me, and then I might ask you your birthday so that I know your card, so that the card I pull for you has a little more meaning. Like if I pull your moon card, it's not just the six of diamonds, it's your moon card, and then that adds other nuance. Then I can do a little reading for you, and it's really fun because I'm so, like, detached from your story, because there's this distance thing with social media. I'm actually a lot more accurate because I don't have, I mean, if I know the person who's asking for the information, I'm more likely to be off because I may be emotionally invested in their story. But if I don't know you, chances are I'm going to be really accurate. And I just do that for free because it's really fun, and it feels really good. Um, and I totally forgot my point. Do you remember what I was talking about?
Wow, you just totally were like hammering down on service to others. and how much joy and bliss that brings you. See, you know, universal law is what we all are learning and are to be following. And universal law is not against Christ's teaching. He taught the very same thing. Love your creator with all your heart, which of course we love our creator. Our creator loves us.
Right.
And love your neighbor as yourself. The thing that
Right.
I've noticed, a lot of people have a problem with self love. If you don't love yourself or don't know how, then how can you love somebody else as you love yourself? So
Uh,
that's something
well,
that we need to all work on together, is learning to accept ourselves, our flaws and all, and love ourselves so we can exchange love with others and look at them as the beautiful sovereign beings that they are.
and there's so much contained in that, and I've been seeing so many different angles and nuances on the importance of kindness and love. And just, oh, what I was saying is that I do a lot of this spiritual woo-woo talk, and oh, we had this gateway 1010 yesterday, and what are the energies that are coming through, and blah blah blah. Ginger, I can go into all that spiritual woo-woo, and yesterday I just couldn't tolerate it. I was like, I can't even make myself care about all these energy updates and the woo woo. And I just didn't want to know what was going on in the world. And so,
Mm-hmm.
what I wanted to say by that is just like, trust that, trust that. And I want to make mention of somebody very special. She gave me permission to mention her.
Yeah.
She has a YouTube channel called Gwendolyn. And I think she took it down, and maybe she said she would activate it again. And maybe if
I
somebody in the
met Gwendolyn.
yeah,
I did in the Zoom chat with you guys.
that's right, you met her. And she
Yes.
did a little video, and she doesn't see herself as somebody who makes YouTube videos and goes out there and talks, and she lives a pretty, isolated private life at this point. But this video was so incredibly on point, and she's like, I kept going out there to all these teachers and all these other people to kind of tell me, am I doing it right? And she's like, it just really screws with your self-esteem. Am I doing it right? Am I evolved enough? Am I doing ascension properly? And all the measuring sticks we have. And she's like, I just figured out that it's okay for me to just be here now. Like, that's enough. And I'm like, oh my God, you're figuring it out, that you're your
The
own guru.
narrow path. You're the only one on it.
You're the
Hello.
only one you need to know what you need to. You already know everything you need to know. And oh my God, I have to show you this. Okay, so I popped this open just before our interview. Rumi, body intelligence. I'm going to skip through little bits and pieces of it, but this is like her video and the essence of her video, which by the way got taken down. And I'm like, of course it did, because it's so
On.
on point.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah. Okay. Your intelligence is always with you, overseeing your body, even though you may not be aware of its work. Let's see. If you start doing something against your health, your intelligence will eventually scold you. If it hadn't been so lovingly close by and so constantly monitoring, how could it rebuke? In other words, you know things that you need to know when you need to know them. You and your intelligence are like the beauty and the precision of an astrolabe. Together, you calculate how near existence is to the sun. Your intelligence is marvelously intimate. So think of intelligence as divine guidance, your higher self, God. Your intelligence is marvelously intimate. It's not in front of you or behind or to the left or to the right. It's not outside you, it is you. Now try, my friend, to describe how near is the creator of your intellect. In other words, you are the creator as well. Intellectual searching will not find the way to that king. It's not just mind, it's already here. And something to insert about the cards. Can you still hear me and everything?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So the cards.
Am I being too quiet? I'm sorry. I'm really engaged in with what
No,
you're saying.
no, that's okay. My screen just changed on my phone, so I'm not sure. But anyway,
We can still see you and hear you.
okay.
Is that
Thank
still
you.
correct in the chat? If you see me looking over, it's because I've got the chat stream up on another monitor, so I
Me
have to
too.
look over
Me
that way.
too.
Okay.
Exactly. I keep doing this like, oh, okay.
Okay. They say
Okay.
Misty World said great.
Yes. Um, yeah, and if you guys have questions or comments, this is interactive. We're all bringing this through. So, oh, I was going to say something about the cards and how, oh, you are the creator of your own intellect. I firmly believe that we chose the details down to our DNA for this existence. You chose your card, your path, your DNA, your limitations, your character flaws, this whole dance of being human. You've chosen it because God wanted to be you. You wanted to have this experience as God of being you. So just be you. And that's your mission.
Mm-hmm.
Which means sometimes you're depressed, which means sometimes you're really clear and focused, which means sometimes you're productive. Sometimes you see the difference you're making. Sometimes you feel like crap.
Mm-hmm.
That's all part of it.
And people are
Um,
mistaking, thinking when you get to 5D, none of that's going to exist. No, no, it still is, because how are we going to experience, expand, and grow? It may not be as 3D and like locked in and so programmed. We're going to know more. We're going to be in the golden age, but we're still going to experience and expand and grow. So let's not think we're going straight from 3D to heaven.
yeah. Well,
And
and
let's not
heaven's,
skip a large step here.
it's like, right, and there's really nothing else but, right, this is it.
This moment. This is
This is it.
now. Now.
This is it.
This is
Yeah, I
now.
had an instructor at the Dances of Universal Peace who used to say, "This is it." He'd hold, cup his little hand. This is it.
This is it. Be happy.
Yeah. Um, okay, the movement of your finger is not separate from your finger. This is so deep, you guys. You go to sleep or you die, and there's no intelligent motion. Then you wake, and your fingers fill with meanings. Now consider the jewel lights in your eyes. How do they work? I just love Rumi. He's like sarcastic. How does that work?
Mm.
When I look in your eyes and I see your soul, and there's some kind of infinity going on there. How does that work? What's
Right.
that about? Oh, I love this. This visible universe has many weathers and variations. But uncle, oh uncle, the universe of the creation word, the divine command to be, that universe of qualities is beyond any pointing to. And it goes on, and it's just like, it's all just incredible. If you want to look it up, it's called Body Intelligence. Absolutely on point, and I just flipped the Rumi book open to that, and I think maybe that's one of the main messages coming through is
Beautiful.
all these tools, all the spiritual help, all the abilities we have coming online, our ability to be more in touch with our higher dimensional selves, all the woo-woo, just be. It's like it just comes down to this. It's so much more simple than we make it. And
Mm-hmm.
if it makes you feel bad, throw it out. It's a
Mm-hmm.
lie.
Mm-hmm.
And love yourself. That, like you were saying before, that you create this internal atmosphere, which is your life. You create the atmosphere around you.
Mm-hmm.
And gentleness, kindness, curiosity. Who am I? What am I doing here? Observing yourself, observing a body experience. Okay, so this, since we're talking about me, kind of, I'll tell you about
Me is we.
another, we, right? This is all of us. So this is another tool that I offer. When I went to Naropa, I minored in meditation and spiritual practice. And I kind of honed 3 different kinds of meditation styles, and each one has kind of a different gift to offer. One is a Buddhist form of meditation called shamatha, which is very disciplined, where you're not doing anything but coming back to your breath.
Mm.
That's all you're doing, coming back to your breath. You know, your mind wanders off, and there's a lot of, it's really hard.
Mm-hmm.
And that is an incredibly powerful foundation, because you become the observer of your experience, and you begin to see how much you're judging absolutely everything, and then you learn to kind of loosen that up a little bit and just soften and just Just come back to the breath, come back to the breath. No matter what you're feeling or what's going on, you learn to kind of let go of your experience a little bit. And then the second form is called inquiry. And because I'm so attentive to my emotional world, and I feel like that's part of my master's degree that I bring to this planet, and it's also my number one task, is emotional growth, emotional maturity, understanding our emotional anatomy. So the inquiry method allows you to observe and hold space for the experience that you're having. So if like you're feeling some anxiety, inquiry allows you to become aware of that and the texture of it and where is that sitting in my body, and then you go into it and you become curious and you listen, and really what you're doing is you're cultivating a quality of attention. That's the gift that you're giving yourself. I am going to listen just like you do to a child. Tell me what's going on with you right now. They desperately need that space to have their experience, and they don't need you to name it all the time. Sometimes that's helpful, but they just need it to be safe to have this experience. And then inevitably, when you're doing inquiry, whatever you're experiencing shifts and changes because you've given room for it to move around. And the third form of meditation I've learned is through contemplative Christianity. Father Keating, who actually co-founded the contemplative department at Naropa. And I just love that because it's Buddhism and Christianity, you know? And so Father Keating developed this form of prayer from when the disciples asked Jesus, teach us to pray. And he said, when you pray, oh, every time I say those words, I get choked up. When you pray, you go into your closet, you go into the secret place where your Father is in secret with you. And you just have this communion. And so his method is that you get in this quiet space and you allow the Spirit to give you a sacred word. And and then you just come back to the word. And then you allow the divine therapist to just work with you. Oh my God, I'm getting so choked up because I think that is, thanks. that means so much to me because we are relational. And even though we talk about this conceptual oneness, which is kind of more where Buddhism rests, and the Hindu faith, Christianity and Sufism are very relational, and they need a lover and a beloved. And contemplative Christianity allows you to acknowledge God as this comforter, as other. And sometimes we just really need that to just wrap as a blanket around us. You know, my guides, please come through. Tell me I'm okay. And that form of meditation really, I mean, there's a sacredness to it. And because I've called it in energetically and we're all feeling it, that's why I'm crying, because it's like, whoa, this is beautiful. Like the plant is really taking the water right now. The Reiki is really flowing. There's a real need for the contemplative prayer practice because we need to know that there's something bigger than us that loves us, that's got this thing. Sometimes we need to know that.
Well, and you know, although the divine spark that animates us, that brings us our very being, he's still he. I'm stuck on he a bit. I really don't even want to limit source creator to sex because I don't think that's a limiting, and I don't think there's any limiting the unlimited and the infinite.
The Lord's Prayer in the original Aramaic of Jesus' language begins this way, Abun Debashmaya, which means mother, father. It's a genderless term. It's like parent. Mother, father, divine creator of the cosmos. Yeah, so they had a genderless term for parent. But you know what? On that point, and then I want you to get back to your point.
I've already forgot it.
Okay. Yesterday, I found myself referring to
I may get it back.
It might come back. You were saying the divine spark.
Yeah. Oh, that's
okay. I found myself referring to God as He, and I grew up Christian too, and the Lord and all that. And I have gotten out of that habit a long time ago. And when I heard He coming through, all of a sudden I was like, oh, God the Father, divine masculine. It's okay for the divine masculine to start coming back in. We can refer to God as He and Father, and it's not all fucked up like it used to be. that's changed. Something about
She
Saturn.
meant fudged up, but I got you. Oh, okay. Before I lose my thought again, um, the divine spark that animates us, sharing the essence of God Creator, also made us each unique, each divine and unique, where we will have completely separate lives, completely separate experiences. We can have similar experiences to somebody else, but not in the same order, and not, everything is so unique. I mean, what kind of a creator is this? It's amazing, and you will never lose your sovereignty and who you are and who you are becoming, and who there are no
Mm,
mistakes. So we have the oneness, but the oneness comes from that we all come from the one. But we also have our sovereignty and our individualness, because we are so unique and so one of a kind made.
right.
It's it's a conundrum. I mean, God, that's
Yes.
why, creators' ways of thinking are way higher than even what we can even fathom and understand. But it's all in the divine plan. It's all in the
Yes.
divine plan. It's
So
beautiful. It's just,
so
it's
that moment in the
exciting.
movie Contact when Jodie Foster is sharing her experience, and she uses the I'm going to do it again. She uses the word precious, and she's crying when she says it. You're all so precious and rare and beautiful.
Mm-hmm. People
Yeah, and
could
so that
just
there's a
see
real,
themselves for that.
yes, it's a paradox and a conundrum about being human in the 3D in this journey, which is there's nothing wrong with us because we're 3D and we're not 5D. This is the 3D experience. This is it. Welcome to it. Be it, have it, enjoy it. It's rich, it's beautiful, it's multi-textured. Sometimes it totally sucks and we suffer and there's pain and oh my God,
And
it's
there
a
will be in
full
the 5D also. I think that the
right.
only difference between 3D and 5D is awareness.
That
The
very well could
gifts,
be
the gifts that are within us, that we become aware of the things we are actually able to do, that we were not put here helpless and defenseless. We are able to more than take care of ourselves, because we
yeah,
have been blessed with multiple gifts within us. And it's a matter of being aware and to
hmm
love yourself, and then love your neighbor as yourself.
right.
And
I think, yeah,
it's just
awareness is
that
the difference
simple. It's just
between
that
pain and
simple.
suffering. Like there will be pain, but suffering is when, I don't know, when there's a lack of awareness or a perception of separation, which I think Divine Creator said, I want to experience duality, and for duality to exist, there has to be the misperception. This is my theory.
The
I could be wrong
delusion.
about it, but there has to be the misunderstanding, a
False
lack of awareness
evidence
of
appearing real.
unity. So that's part of the experiment too, is those moments that we feel cut off. Like Jesus says, my God, why hast thou forsaken me? Now, why did he say that? We could say Jesus was like Q in that moment, and it may have been misinformation or a misdirect, but you know, that's part of the human experiment.
Oh my gosh, Paula, you're so much fun.
Oh, thank you.
But there is, though, I mean, and that goes along with the message about these programs. They go in cycles, and we're reliving a cycle now. And right after that last cycle, we had a huge awakening, and so we've got so much to look forward to. And the more of us that become self-aware and awake to, this amazing, precious gift that we've been given of life and being, that I mean, the gifts, the abilities were, they talk about the full armor of God in Christianity a lot. Well, the full armor of God are all the gifts, and the rainbows, our chakra system, it just lines up as the rainbow. I mean, the promise of God and all the gifts and things that we have. We're not here defenseless. And the
Mm,
God of this world that is spoken of in the Bible a lot, uh, is a created being. And once people can get that in their mind, that that's a created being that, got jealous of this created being of us and decided to oppress, or then um, so many doors are going to open up, and then they will really know the creator. I
Okay,
mean, when you really get to know the creator, it's all love. It's just all unconditional love and forgiveness. It's just
oh,
that's
oh my,
that's been my experience whenever I have spent time, and that's my experience with it,
yeah,
with Hishi.
totally. With he, she. I want to give you like certain levels of my response to that.
Sure.
Like what's up for me in this moment. Number one, I totally agree with you. I happen to really agree with you that the Old Testament God is the Yaldabaoth or whatever, and I've had some really bizarre confirmations around that a couple years ago. Look, here's my dog. This is Max.
Hi, Mags. Joining the live
It's like,
stream.
what's going on in there?
Who's in that
Um,
box?
right?
Mommy, let her out of the box. You just wonder what our animals are thinking. She's
Oh
trapped.
no, right?
Help her.
Well, one of the trainers said that they asked Coco. So I was talking to the Comcast guy today, and at the end of our conversation, we're like, "Oh, I love you, and I love you too, and you've been such a blessing to my day." And I'm like, "Go check out Coco and Mr. Rogers. It was awesome." And I said, the trainer
Your
said to
trainer
Coco,
inner
"What do you
child.
think about people?" And Coco said, "They're so slow." I
We
love
are
that.
kind of
But
thick.
so my dog basically just made my point that when we get into these like concepts and ideas, and this is what my inner child has been telling me lately, is that when we get in the realm of of opinion and that kind of thing, things that it's like it's not our immediate experience, and it's fun to play around in those realms, and I love to live there and learn more about this and
Mhm.
watch YouTube channels like The Universe Inside You and David Wilcock and Corey Good, and interviews like, oh, I'm so hungry for that information. And my inner child lately is like, no, 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 no,
Play.
just
Let's play
have your
because
own
you already have
experience.
it.
Like, yeah, because like when I was going through something really, really tricky about 4 years ago, repressed memory came up, and I was having anxiety attacks for like a whole year. My inner child couldn't go there. My inner child demanded that I stay with my immediate experience. And so I just want to say, kind of like as the Mr. Rogers of disclosure, um, if it's too much, just pull back. If you're getting wound up into a what's true, and here's what the mainstream media says, and here's the whole political front, and here's the whole metaphysical thing, and blah, 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 it's like you can just let go of that for a minute. Like right now, it just feels really important to come back to your immediate experience, allow the recalibration, the rebooting, this huge energy wave that I think started about a week ago, at least. It's like what my observation was, and this is another thing I do with my live Facebook readings, is kind of give the update for what I think's going on energetically. And it's like we were here, I'll use Rumi. We're all walking along this wall, ding, 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 and we all felt this corner at the end. We were going to turn the corner, and it felt like it was taking forever. And so we're walking along and boom, running into the wall. No, it's not time yet. And then when I came around the corner about a week ago, there was this huge cloud of um like I just had to go through this experience, and it was going to last 5 to 10 to 12 days. I think I'm still in it, where I was getting rolled by a different wave every day. And it's like one day I was so ecstatic. I discovered Zumba, and there was this Brazilian instructor, and oh my God, it was just so sexy and amazing and fun. And I was just so high all day that I was freaking myself out a little bit. I was like, I need a rock. I have to wear rocks on my body to stay grounded. And then the next day I was so depressed I couldn't function. Um and so I've just had to go with the flow. And every single day, something major has happened, like healing a past life, going in and seeing that I was a Templar Knight and that I signed a contract not to own private property. We owned corporate property, and we were extremely wealthy, but we didn't own it privately. And I needed to change that. So I went back into my Akash and I changed that. And then I had to integrate the results of that change. And it took about 3 or 4 days for that to integrate. And then I had a dream that went on and on and on and on and on and on and on, which I've not had for years. And I was with Jeffrey Epstein, and I was in 4 or 5D, and I had this experience of loving him like he was my own flesh and blood. And my inner child was so freaked out about that it took her about 2 or 3 days to integrate that. It's like, ew, how could you love him? That totally creeps me out. And so I had to give that aspect of myself that was creeped out by that experience, I had to give her time to integrate. And now I'm coming closer to understanding, okay, it is all about love. Even with the deep state and the really dark stuff that's happened, can we find room to at least acknowledge that it's not about winning, it's about coming together, it's about love, it's about looking into the eyes of the other and seeing yourself.
And with the Epstein, that's another, like, as I would call it, a matrix program, an overlay. But the last time it went around, it was all pinned on a man named Larry King with the boys' camp or Boys Town.
Yep.
Remember? So
Yeah.
we got it. A lot of times, enough time has passed. People forget that we've already went through these programs. But then, as you become aware, then you're going to see that these programs recycle and they recycle and they recycle. But they're doing that, and that it's for the benefit of mankind. It is for the benefit of awakening more and more people, because as they recycle, as they more people become self-aware, more people realize who and what they are. So it's a beautiful thing. So I can see you loving him and the inner child freaking out because of the programming. But a lot of times this is just programming, and that it's a name that's put out there with a label on it for a traumatic effect to happen.
Right.
It's not something you witnessed. It's not something you experienced. It's something that's put out there. And that's where we need to discern from our own experiences.
Yeah,
from
and it's
what's projected
all
out
about
there.
the separation game. It's like, they're like, how long can we keep the separation game going?
Hmm.
And we're not separate.
Nope.
And one of the things they showed me in this dream was love. And if love is present, that verse, love covers over a multitude of sins.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Covers
it
them
was,
all.
yeah, it was kind of like, they showed me, like, immediately after death, going into the afterlife and kind of taking a scan through your body and your life, and like where you come across love, it just like this gold, liquid gold, just kind of washes over everything. And they were showing me that there was this love between Guillaume Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein. And that picture of her at In-N-Out Burger, those of you who are like into this, what's going on behind the scenes, she went to great lengths to have a photo of her at an In-N-Out Burger. It's totally photoshopped, and she had a book in front of her which was about
I saw it. Yep. Mm-hmm.
CIA agents or something like that. And because I had that dream, I was like, oh my God, I know what that was. That was a love letter and a farewell to Jeffrey Epstein. They loved each other. I mean, as fucked up as it was. And then the Virginia Roberts.
Fudged up is what she actually meant.
And she said, oh, we were like a fucked up little family.
Stop
Like we had Chris. Oh, sorry.
We're not on a private call, sweetie. We're live.
Sorry.
Don't forget.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry, everybody. Well, so anyway, the screwed up little family that they were, and there was love there.
I'm gonna cry.
Oh, good.
You're so funny. Stop.
Well, for most people on this call are familiar with that word. I just hope it doesn't create some kind of problem with YouTube.
Yeah, just throw my channel off. That's okay. I just won't have a platform anymore. But that's all right. It was worth it.
live and we can't even edit that out. It's done. It's
Well,
out
no,
there.
yeah, because if I went in there and I edited that out, then all the chat streams gone. Any
Oh
kind of
my
editing
God.
that we do on live streams removes our chat stream permanently. So I like to, um, keep it where, excuse me, the chat stream is still available if people want to. Because a lot of times in the chat stream, there's people talking about things that they've experienced or that they got a channel and they've got pictures or they got this or they got that. And then you can click on those three little dots by their name and then you can go over and check out their channel. So I like to leave the chat stream intact.
Yeah.
But you're fine, sweetheart. You know what? It's already been an hour. I told you it would blow by fast.
No way.
Because I have not told anybody this. All of her links to be able to find her YouTube, her book, and her webpage is in the description box below. I'm sure if you go over to her YouTube, then you can get the link for her Facebook and all other links. I'm sure will be over on her platform over there. But so if you wanted to, check her out, subscribe to her, see what she has to offer, that is all listed in the description box. I don't think I got a chance to tell anybody that we were so frustrated with the technical issues that.
Yeah, and I didn't get a chance to tell her that I talk like a sailor sometimes. So sorry about that, everybody.
Oh, you're fine. You really didn't sailor talk too much. What's your book's title?
Okay, the name of my book is, it's kind of long. So You Got a Destiny Cards Book. Now What? A Guide. And the link is below, and the paperback is available no matter what you find. You know, Kindle is not available. That's always been a little screwed up, but the paperback is available for $13, and it allows you to just use an ordinary deck of cards as a tarot deck. And like so many people, they'll contact me and they're like, I found the four of spades in the parking lot. What does it mean? I mean, we're always finding cards everywhere or seeing them or, yeah, even with Q, a couple
Does
of
it
cards.
help us with counting cards at Vegas? No, I'm
No,
kidding. I'm
no,
kidding.
but we'll help you to interpret what's going on through a poker game.
Yeah, I bet you it would. The house always wins. You'll see that
Yeah,
really clearly. So you've made a book that helps people that can use an ordinary deck and use that as a tool. So that way, if they are needing a tool and wanting to use a deck of cards, you've given a book that can help them hone in on that gift and that ability so they can put
right.
that tool in their toolbox.
Right. It was written as a companion to the Destiny Cards book, but you don't have to have a Destiny Cards book to benefit from it because I
So
have
you've written two
all
books.
mm, kind of two in one, but like I've
Wow.
written out a description for the meanings of all 52 cards. So if you find that four of spades in the parking lot, you can go to the four of spades and read what it might be about.
That's awesome. That is awesome. And $13, that's reasonable.
I know, right?
That's really reasonable. You're
I know.
nice. You're sweetie.
Thank you.
Did anybody have, let me look at the chat and see, did anybody have any questions for her? Oh, Dad posted your links. He's so sweet. I can't, see that far to that monitor. Let's see, we got Shelby and Nancy and Quantum Quartz and John. John's going to be coming on live soon. Um, and doing what Paula's doing. Michael Henley.
Thank you,
Scrolling up to
Shel.
make sure. Misty World. My Skies 5D. Dana Patterson. Um, Janice Ames. Trying not to repeat. Jody. Jokey, I'm sorry, Jokey. I'm sorry, Jody. Jody, Reiki Medium. Nice. Love the name. Patricia Forbes, Things You
Oh yeah.
Forgot, or I think that's it. It says the Things You Forgot. Yes, I love that name too. You guys come up with some really amazing names. Liera, Gwendolyn's in here. Ah, we were
Oh,
talking about Gwendolyn and
yeah.
Paul, and I think I saw Longreach One in here also. thank you all for coming, and appreciate it so very, very much.
Yeah.
And okay, if you'll mute out just for a second, I will close this out, and I'll be right back with. Did you wait? Did you want to say bye or anything? Say.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I just want to say thank you everybody for sharing the space with me. And I do a lot of YouTube lives, and I've come into my Leo. I'm a Leo, and I had to come into it, and I have late in life, and I've really been enjoying it. And I was a little nervous about this, and I think it was because some big energy came through, and that's due to everybody in the chat and everybody who's watching this after the fact. And I just want to say I love you, family, and thank you for participating. And know that this is a round table, and has an equal amount of authority. Own it. That's
And
all. Thank you, Michelle.
you'll come back, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. You guys, also, I wanted to make sure you know this is a grassroots funded channel. So any software or anything, I have a Patreon and I have a PayPal. Please do not post anybody else's Patreon or PayPal accounts. I don't mind links and things like that, but for the sake of confusion, I don't want somebody thinking that it's mine and then they end up someplace else, because mine are all in the description box and I won't post them in the chat stream. So with that said, Paula is amazing. Look for that book. Links are below. Her channel is below. And also on her channel, go to her Facebook. She goes live on Facebook a lot. And she's new to the format of coming over and doing more on YouTube. So let's bump her up on subscribers. And I hope you guys enjoyed having her with us today. All right. I love you guys. I'll talk to you soon.